Have you ever wondered how one single day could change the entire course of history? How a single battle could dismantle an empire and forge a new one from its ashes? Today, we're re-diving deep into one of the most pivotal moments in ancient history, the Battle of Actium. This isn't just a story of ships and soldiers. It's a tale of ambition, love, betrayal, and the dramatic clash between two of history's most iconic figures, Cleopatra and Mark Antony, and the cunning future emperor, Octavian. Let's set the stage. The year is 31 BC. The Roman Republic is on its last legs, torn apart by decades of civil war following the death of Julius Caesar. Power has been carved up between two men, Gaius Octavius, Caesar's adopted son and heir, who controls the West, and Mark Antony, Caesar's loyal general, who governs the East from glamorous Alexandria. Alongside his powerful ally and lover, the Queen of Egypt, Cleopatra, for years, a fragile truce held these two titans at bay. They were brothers-in-law, after all. Antony was married to Octavian's sister, Octavia. But this was a political marriage, and Antony's heart was in Egypt. His public and private alliance with Cleopatra was more than just a scandal in Rome. It was a direct threat to Octavian's power. Antony was seen as going native, abandoning Roman values for the decadent, opulent lifestyle of an Eastern monarch. Octavian, a master of propaganda, seized on this. He painted Antony not as a Roman rival, but as a foreign enemy, a puppet of the Egyptian queen who dreamed of conquering Rome itself. He portrayed Cleopatra as a seductive sorceress who had bewitched a once great Roman general. He skillfully fueled Roman fear and xenophobia, turning public opinion squarely against the pair. The final straw came when Octavian illegally obtained and read Antony's will to the Roman Senate. In it, Antony made shocking declarations. He confirmed his children with Cleopatra as his heirs, gifted vast Roman territories to them, and, most damningly, requested to be buried in Alexandria, not Rome. To the Roman people, this was the ultimate betrayal. It confirmed their worst fears. Antony had completely turned his back on his homeland. War was now inevitable. The Senate, spurred on by Octavian, officially declared war, but not on Antony. In a brilliant political move, they declared war on Cleopatra. This framed the conflict as a foreign war to defend Roman integrity, not another bloody civil war between Romans. Antony, by standing with Cleopatra, was automatically branded a traitor. And so, the stage was set for the final confrontation. Both sides began to gather their forces. Antony and Cleopatra amassed a massive fleet, a mix of heavy Roman warships and lighter, faster Egyptian vessels. Their army was formidable, composed of seasoned Roman legions loyal to Antony and a large contingent of allied troops from eastern kingdoms. They established their base at Actium on the western coast of Greece, controlling a strategic gulf. Octavian, meanwhile, was not to be outdone. He was backed by the full might of the Roman state and had an invaluable asset, his brilliant and loyal general, Marcus Vipsanius Agrippa. Agrippa was a tactical genius, arguably the greatest military mind of his generation. While Octavian was the political mastermind, Agrippa was the architect of his victories. Agrippa's first move was a masterstroke. Instead of launching a direct assault on Actium, he used his more maneuverable navy to blockade Antony's forces. He captured key supply points around the Ionian Sea, effectively cutting off Antony and Cleopatra's supply lines. Week after week, their massive army began to starve. Disease, likely malaria, swept through their camp. Morale plummeted, and desertions became common. Antony's strength was being sapped without a single major battle. Antony was trapped. His proud legions were withering away. He had two choices: abandon his fleet and try to break out by land, or risk everything on a naval battle to break the blockade. Urged on by Cleopatra, who knew her kingdom's fate depended on their fleet, he chose the sea. On September 2nd, 31 BC, Antony's fleet sailed out of the Gulf of Actium to face Agrippa's navy. The scene must have been breathtaking. Over 600 ships clashed in the bay. Antonia's ships were huge, like floating fortresses. They were quinqueremes, massive galleys with bronze rams packed with archers and catapults. They were built for close quarters, combat, and ramming. Agrippa's ships, on the other hand, were smaller, lighter, and more agile. They were mostly Liburnians, a type of bireme that valued speed and maneuverability over brute force. Agrippa's strategy was simple but devastating. He ordered his ships to avoid direct confrontation. Instead, they would swarm Antony's lumbering giants, circling them like wolves. They would use their speed to dart in, attack the oars and rudders to cripple the larger ships, and then retreat before the enemy could effectively retaliate. They also used a new weapon, the harpax, a grappling hook fired from a catapult that could reel in enemy ships for boarding. The battle raged for hours under the hot Greek sun. Antony's larger ships found themselves unable to maneuver in the crowded waters. They were surrounded, harassed, and slowly picked apart. Still, Antony's veterans fought with desperate courage, and the outcome was far from certain. Then, the turning point. For reasons historians still debate to this day, a squadron of about 60 Egyptian ships, with Cleopatra herself on the flagship, suddenly broke from the main battle line. They hoisted their sails, a clear signal of retreat, not a battle maneuver, and fled south, towards Egypt. Seeing Cleopatra leave, Antony made a fateful and frankly astonishing decision. He abandoned his men, his command, and the battle. He transferred to a smaller, faster ship and chased after her, leaving his entire fleet and army to fend for themselves. Imagine the shock and despair of his men. Their commander, the legendary Mark Antony, had just deserted them in the middle of the most important battle of their lives. Without their leader, the remaining resistance crumbled. Some ships fought on bravely until they were sunk or captured. Others surrendered. By the end of the day, Octavian and Agrippa had won a complete and total victory. The once mighty fleet of Antony and Cleopatra was annihilated. The aftermath was swift. Antony's land army, leaderless and demoralized, surrendered to Octavian within a week. Antony and Cleopatra managed to make it back to Egypt, but they were broken and isolated. Their allies deserted them, and their power was gone. A year later, in 30 BC, Octavian arrived in Egypt with his legions. There was no real fight left. As Octavian's forces entered Alexandria, Antony, hearing a false report that Cleopatra had taken her own life, fell on his sword. He was brought to Cleopatra's mausoleum, where he died in her arms. Cleopatra's end is the stuff of legend. After being captured by Octavian, she realized he intended to parade her through the streets of Rome in his triumphal procession, the ultimate humiliation for a queen. Rather than face this disgrace, she chose to end her own life. The story goes that she had a venomous snake, an asp, smuggled to her in a basket of figs. The Battle of Actium was more than just a military victory. It was the end of an era and the beginning of another. It marked the end of the Hellenistic Age, the world of Alexander the Great's successors, and the final death of the Roman Republic. With Antony and Cleopatra gone, Octavian stood alone, the undisputed master of the Roman world. He would soon be granted the title Augustus, becoming the first Roman emperor and ushering in 200 years of relative peace and prosperity, known as the Pax Romana, or Roman peace. The battle that saw Antony and Cleopatra's love story end in tragedy laid the foundation for the Roman Empire, an empire that would shape Western civilization for centuries to come. It's a powerful reminder of how personal ambitions and grand romances can collide with political destiny, creating tidal waves that reshape the world forever. Thanks so much for joining me on this journey back in time. If you found this story as fascinating as I do, please hit that like button. And be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next deep dive into history. Let me know in the comments what historical event you want to see covered next. See you in the next video.